Good morning. This is William Mosley, student in the CI 149 summer course. And today I'll be speaking to you about differentiation in the classroom, teaching strategies for all students. You'll notice my little friend in the upper right-hand corner there, the Javian gliding tree frog. They'll help us hopefully in understanding the different methods that we'll cover today. I'll open up the presentation and we'll begin. So our first topic of choice will be the utilization of visual aids, as well as the reintegration of the arts within the sciences. They say pictures speak 1,000 words. Pictures also seem to help with retention and offer nonverbal reinforcement of a topic or a concept that is the current focus. For students of all levels of education, and no matter the linguistic grasp, a picture can help give reference to a topic, as well as help build connections to key words used throughout the lesson. The topic goes just further than the utilization of lecture content, however. When taking notes, taking the time to draw a picture of the subject helps, again, build those connections in a way that transcend linguistic barriers. And within the realms of biology, pictures, diagrams, and field notes were all commonly used in the past. Whether drawing a step-by-step picture of cell mitosis or different anatomical parts of a flower, utilization of graphics will be a key part in both bridging the cognitive gap between teacher and student, and will heavily be utilized within my own classroom as an integral part of both lab journals and for poster projects. And you can see here that I've added both visual keys to help summarize each of the topics. Our second topic here is another integral part of the scientific process, group work. Being able to collaborate with groups of peers is a skill that's invaluable, whether it is for projects, posters, brainstorming ideas, or for class discussions. It allows for the building of complex ideas and concepts while also dividing labor across individuals, which can highlight unique or special skill sets within each group. It can also help build a collaborative dynamic within the classroom itself, creating connections between students and opening up dialogues between them, possibly even making some friends. Finally, collaboration means conversation. For the EDL student, and really any student who's shy or introverted, it gives them practice in a public speaking forum in a non-public environment. One of the key issues with science is reliance on proper communication, both verbal and written. If you cannot get your ideas across successfully and clearly, then it does not matter. Reinforcing that idea, as well as giving the students as much practice as possible, helps build a foundation for those skills which they will definitely use later in their lives. Our third topic is on assessment. More to the point is on what kind of assessments to use and when to use them. One of the biggest takeaways that I learned from studying differentiation was about when to utilize assessments, specifically about pre-assessments and their use before each topic of discussion to judge how much your class already has a grasp on the subject they're about to learn. This is invaluable information, letting you judge what concepts you need to lean heavily upon and what others are so firmly in the grasp of the student that they don't need as much attention. I'm also a proponent of artifact-based assessment, the utilization of lab journals and exit ticket questions in the judgment of how deep the class's grasp on a subject is. It's a great measurement that helps you tell when they are ready for that final assessment and when to move on to the next topic. The other half is the way that assessments are given. To help with EDL students or those whose grasp on any one subject might be shaky, utilizing different methods of assessment, like fill in the blank sections which focus on keywords and subjects, or the option of verbal or written reports. Utilization of lab practicals on lab heavy sections is also an option. One key idea should be thus that the assessment should match the lecture method. If you have the assessment for a vocabulary heavy section, be a set of picture matching puzzles. You will confuse your students and bias your results. Do your best to shy away from curricular dissonance. For our fourth topic, we continue from on assessments to expectations. What products should I expect from each student? Obviously, this should depend upon their own skill level, their grasp on topics, and their linguistic capabilities. But the question is, how can you set this up fairly? The first step is proper planning. For the core concept, create how the concept should be assessed, and then create what works in lectures will accompany and pair well with those assessments. Once this is down, you should then go back to create those tiers of expectation. For emerging EDL students, consider focusing on vocabulary and key concepts, utilizing again fill in the blank and definition-based questions and metrics. For expanding EDL students or the general population, consider written short answer questions, utilizing those same keywords, but demanding explanation and reinforcement of their answers. Finally, for upper division and advanced students, ask questions in a traditional long form format with central argument, a breakdown of subtopics, supporting their information, and well-structured sentences. To add to this expectation, the utilization of non-traditional methods of explanation can be an additional layer of engagement or can help lighten up the burden if it aligns with the student's interests. This could include videos, diagrams, small-scale experiments, or even drawn pictures to help explain. Together, this would allow the teacher to moderate the expectation and workload for the students on the fly. Give them a short answer and ask them to draw a picture. Bring me a photo tomorrow of the type of animal we discussed. All of these can be integrated to allow everyone the full engagement they deserve in a topic. And then the final concept we'll discuss, one that we've already seen woven through many of my previously discussed ones, is flexibility on the part of the teacher. No matter how concise or well-tuned your lesson plan, there may always be a student who defies your expectations and always be an opening for your own improvement. When using differential teaching methods, you need to work in some flexibility into the curriculum in order to be able to roll with any punches that may come. What if a student has no access to the internet on their own? What if they're capable of speech, but incapable of physically writing? Perhaps they're deaf. To help reach out to these students in need and to make sure that you are prepared, consider the use of alternative methods of assessment. If the student has crippling social anxiety, consider a one-on-one presentation or even a video presentation. A written report can be just as thorough as a presented poster. It's your job as a teacher to make sure that your students not only learn the topic, but apply themselves fully as well. So when it comes time to graduate someone to a higher metric of expectation, you need to take the time to sit down with them. Tell them why and explain your reasoning. This should be encouraging. Let them know this isn't some form of punishment. This is because you are so amazed at their growth as a student. You want to see how far that they can reach. Finally, we have our sources, including a few that were linked within the class curriculum. A few of the ones that I personally found very helpful in this were links 1, strategies in teaching for science to English language learners, 3, how to differentiate in the class science room, and 4, differentiation in the science lessons. They gave in-class examples of the techniques that they utilized, and it really helped broaden my understanding in both differentiation as well as utilizing EDL standards. Thank you for watching, and I hope I've accurately given my representation of how much I've learned from class differentiation.